This video will cover the training necessary to be a certified Tile Bond installer. We will cover the safe handling, operation, and application of the product. Once completed, you will have met the code requirements to be a certified Tile Bond installer. Part 1, Safe Handling. Tile Bond roof tile adhesive is packaged in pressurized containers, and care must be taken to keep the packages away from extreme heat. The maximum recommended storage temperature is 120 degrees Fahrenheit. Avoid leaving tanks in direct sunlight when not in use. Safety glasses with side shields and gloves are recommended when handling Tile Bond due to the pressurized nature of the package. Full coverage clothing is also recommended to avoid Tile Bond contacting the skin. Before it cures, Tile Bond can be removed with Great Stuff cleaner, which is acetone, or many of the work wipes currently available on the market. Once cured, Tile Bond can only be removed mechanically. Always carry Tile Bond by the handles on the tank. Never use the gun hose assembly to move or lower the tank. It's not designed for this. Refer to the safety data sheet for more details on safe handling and use. Part 2, Shelf Life. Tile Bond has a 12-month shelf life. The expiration date is stamped on the top of the carton. There's also a white sticker on the top of the tank that contains the date of manufacture in Julian date format, where the first 3 digits are the numeric day of the year and the following 2 digits are the year. The tank pictured here was manufactured on the 349th day of 2020, which corresponds with December 14th, 2020. With a 12-month shelf life, the expiration date is indicated as the 14th day of December 2021. Part 3, How Tile Bond works. Tile Bond is a single component polyurethane foam adhesive. Polyurethanes are made from 2 basic components. Some are formed on site where the A side and B side are mixed at the gun and react as they are applied to the roof. The ratio of the A side to the B side must be precisely controlled through a calibration process. These are referred to as 2-component polyurethanes. Tile Bond also contains these 2 basic components. However, they are mixed in the exact ratio at the factory in the cylinder to create a material that cures from moisture in the air. No field calibration is required as the ratio is perfectly set at the factory. Tile Bond is on ratio and ready to use as supplied. The optimum application temperature for Tile Bond is between 70 and 90 degrees Fahrenheit. At lower temperatures and humidity levels, Tile Bond will cure more slowly. At higher temperatures and humidity levels, Tile Bond will cure more quickly. Note that in either case, the factory set ratio of A side to B side is unaffected by temperature. Tile Bond is always on ratio. Tile Bond cures from the outside in and skins over as the surface begins curing. Be sure to set the tiles within 4 minutes of applying Tile Bond adhesive to the roof deck. If the foam skins over prior to setting the tile, it must be removed and replaced with fresh foam. The best way to ensure that adequate Tile Bond is applied is to pull up a tile and check the contact area. We recommend checking at least 1 tile per square for proper contact area as a minimum. Check within the 4 minutes of applying the Tile Bond adhesive. Minimum contact areas are listed in the installation manual in Table 1 and on each installation drawing, figures 2 through 8, as well as in the tile notice of acceptance and the Florida product approval. Part 4, Startup and Operation. The 23-pound Tile Bond kit contains the following: an 8-foot gun hose assembly, the 23-pound tank of material, a wrench to attach the gun hose assembly, a complete safe handling and installation manual in English and Spanish. Shake or roll the tank for 15 to 20 seconds. This ensures that the product is well mixed and calibrates the product. Be sure to shake the tank when first operated and any time the tank is restarted after sitting for more than an hour. Then attach the hose to the tank. Tighten with the wrench provided. Note that the connection is a flare fitting and just needs to be snug. Over-tightening can cause the fitting to leak. Now open the valve on the tank. For a new tank, start by opening the valve about halfway to meter the flow of the product. As the tank empties, open the valve more to fully allow for more flow. When ready to apply, just pull the trigger on the gun to apply the foam. Make sure the tank is upright when in use. The product is dispensed through a dip pipe that extends to the bottom of the tank. The pressure in the tank pushes the material down to the dip pipe and then out through the gun hose. When applying, hold the nozzle of the gun approximately 1 inch above the surface. The nozzle works best when held nearly perpendicular to the surface. This provides some downward force and helps the adhesive stay in place. If the gun is held flatter to the surface, the adhesive can blow away in windy conditions. Application: concrete tile. There are now 2 ways to install with Tile Bond adhesive, resulting in different uplift values. The higher uplift numbers are achieved with our new independent adhesive placements. With this method, the adhesive joins the tile to the underlayment only. With the traditional interdependent placement, the tile is adhered to the underlayment with 1 bead and then to the adjacent tile with a 2nd bead. Note that the independent placement is required to achieve the higher uplift values, and this is the recommended method of installation. Concrete flat tile independent installation. Apply 2 parallel beads of foam approximately 2 inches in diameter and 4 inches long. On the eave course, start approximately 5 inches down from the chalk line, assuming a 3-inch overlap. On successive rows in the field, start approximately 1 inch back from the previous tile. Place the beads wide enough to make good contact with the webs of the tile. Ensure that a minimum of 8 square inches of contact area is obtained per bead. Concrete medium profile tiles. Apply 2 parallel beads of foam, approximately 2 inches in diameter and 4 inches long. On the eave course, start approximately 5 inches down from the chalk line, assuming a 3-inch overlap. On successive rows, start approximately 1 inch back from the previous tile. Place the adhesive beads to contact the lowest part of the tile profile. Ensure that a minimum of 8 square inches of contact area is obtained per bead. Concrete high-profile independent placement. Apply approximate 1.5 inch diameter bead, 8 inches long, to the back of the tile at its center line, approximately 3 inches down from the headlap. Apply a similar sized bead on the underlayment to match up with the bead on the tile. Then set the tile, making a stacked bead installation. Alternatively, 2 beads can be stacked up on the underlayment. However, the beads may shift or fall to the side before the tile is set. In either case, the contact area must be achieved. Ensure that a minimum of 15 square inches of contact area is obtained on the tile. Concrete flat tile interdependent application. At the eave course, install a 1.5 by 1 inch by 6 inch bead directly to the underlayment, perpendicular to the bird stop at the tile overlock side. Place a 6 inch long treated 1x2 wood block on the bead, or you can use a piece of broken tile. Apply a second 1.5 by 1 by 6 bead over the spacer. Place a minimum 1 by 1 by 8 inch bead at the head of the tile horizontal to the bird stop at the underlock side along the tile lug. In the field courses, apply a minimum 1 inch by 1 inch by 8 inch bead where the tile will overlap the previous course on the overlock side of the tile. Place a second bead at the head of the tile on the underlock side in the same size and placement as the eave course. A minimum of 16 square inches of contact area is required for each bead. Concrete medium profile interdependent application. At the eave course, install a 1.5 by 1 by 6 inch bead directly to the underlayment perpendicular to the bird stop at the tile overlock side of the tile. Place a 6 inch long treated 1x2 wood block on the bead. A piece of broken tile approximately the same dimension can be used in place of the wood block as a spacer. Place a second 1.5 by 1 by 6 inch bead over the spacer. Place a minimum 1 inch by 1 inch by 8 inch long bead at the head of the tile along the low point web of the tile at the underlock side. Place this directly on the underlayment. In the field course, apply a minimum 1 inch by 1 inch by 8 inch long bead where the tile will overlap the previous course at the overlock side of the tile. Place a minimum 1 inch by 1 inch by 8 inch long bead at the head of the tile along the web on the underlock side directly to the underlayment. A minimum of 16 square inches of contact area is required for each bead. Concrete high profile, interdependent application. At the eave course, install a 1.5 by 1 by 6 inch long bead directly to the underlayment, perpendicular to the bird stop at the lowest point of the tile. Place a 6 inch long treated 1x2 wood block on the bead. A piece of tile of approximately the same dimension can be used in place of the wood block as a spacer. Place a second 1.5 by 1 by 6 bead over the spacer. Apply a 4 inch by 4 inch by 2 inch thick bead of adhesive at the head of the tile near the lug. In the field courses, apply a minimum 1 inch by 1 inch by 8 inch long bead where the tile will overlap the previous course at the overlock side of the tile. Apply a 4 inch by 4 inch by 2 inch thick bead of adhesive at the head of the tile near the lug. A minimum of 16 square inches of contact area is required for each bead. Note that in all cases, the bead size and placement can be adjusted to accommodate the exact profile of the tile as long as the required contact area is achieved. Part 6, shutdown, storage, and restarting. When finished using a Tile Bond tank, close the valve on the tank. Trigger the gun to relieve the pressure on the line and allow the residual foam in the nozzle to cure. There's no need to clean out the nozzle. The foam will cure about an inch back in the nozzle and will seal off the foam behind it. When not in use, store the tanks out of direct sunlight. Keep storage temperature below 120 degrees Fahrenheit. When ready to restart, shake the tank for approximately 15 to 20 seconds. Remove the nozzle and push the plug of cured foam out of the nozzle. Replace the nozzle, being sure that the O-ring in the end of the nozzle is in place. Open the valve and apply adhesive. Part 7, Tile Bond 28-ounce repair can. The Tile Bond 28-ounce repair can is a convenient product to utilize for small repairs. To use, first screw the straw and trigger assembly onto the valve on top of the can. Shake the can for 15 to 20 seconds. Invert the can and slowly squeeze the trigger to apply foam. When finished, bend the straw back on itself and place the end of the straw over the point on the valve. This keeps foam from completely curing in the straw. To restart, pull the straw off the point. Trim the straw if needed to eliminate any cured foam. Shake, invert the can, pull the trigger, and apply foam. Part 8, practice. Practice applying beads of foam on scrap material until you are comfortable that you can easily replicate the required bead placements.